I need to think hard now. I have to be real careful this week. I think I'm telling the future in the stocks, but I don't want to piss off Dad. I know he doesn't like it when I can say I can see the future in the stocks. I still want my Christmas presents this year, so I gotta be careful. I always love my Christmas presents. Wait a second. Ma gets the Christmas presents. Ma is great. She gives us chocolate cake and presents. Eureka! I thought of a great idea on how to break the news to Dad. Oh, traders! I didn't know you guys were back. Oh, here we are, week 36, and I've got some great news for everyone. I'm a mutant. No, I'm serious, like the X-Men. You know, they got all their special powers. Last week I said, I'm looking for something, I'm waiting for something, and it's not like I can tell the future. What I'm hoping that I see certain price movements in these charts, because it'll give me a forward look to what buyers and sellers are doing. That's right. You know, you can follow the earnings, you can go to the Fibonacci Queen, maybe watch Jim Cramer. I'm going to look at the damn chart and see what buyers and sellers are doing. And when I see buyers stepping in, let's join them. So I got my X-Men suit on. I got all the X's in the right spot. Nothing wrong with it. And let's start taking a look. Let's dive into this. This is great news. Okay, before we dive into AG, last week I promised about getting the silver future charts in here, and I realized I made a huge mistake when I said that the value of silver was the same as it was in 1915. And what I forgot to mention was with inflation and without inflation. So let's first look at with inflation. Let's look at this chart and how from 1915 the value just seems to, it's pretty damn close. We're still under the $20 mark, and with the highs of 110. And who knows what year that was, 75, seems to be in the middle. I'll just take a guess, who knows. That leaves a lot of room for us to go up. Possibly, man, was that 5 times the value? Holy crap. Just want to mention it. Now let's take a look at the other chart without inflation. Without inflation adjustment, it seems like we might have a upward channel here. This is the same timeline, 1915 to the present, and it's difficult to find out where that lower trend line, especially without stochastics being shown down there. But in my other charts, I know that's an oversold area where I have that trend line. But the positioning of these trend lines are very difficult. It takes time to figure out exactly where they are, and I don't have the stochastic information from 1960 and before, but I see something familiar here. And even though this is a bearish pattern, it's still in a bullish part of the pattern. Just wanted to show you guys this. Take it for what it's worth. Let's talk about AG. Here's AG's daily chart for the past couple years. Just want to point out in the circle there, that's where I decided I thought the most optimal time would be to purchase the stock AG. I thought I seen the trends, a possibility of the trends starting to change, but I see some price movement I like at the very end there. So let's zoom up. Let's take a closer look at the end and look at Friday's candlestick. How it barely got above the 50-day moving average, and sellers came back in to 711 as a closing price, which is also higher than the previous day's highs. So even though the previous day a huge amount of buyers stepped in, and I know that because there's a green candlestick. I love these rules. Things are pretty simple. Large amount of buyers coming off right off my purchase price at 5 or 665, and Friday's close stood above it. It's showing me strength. Look at the stochastics here. Stochastics are still not overbought, and ironically we've got that almost 1 year trend line, that white one right up above us in the downward wedge. And I wonder if buyers are gonna look at that and go, oh, look at that little itty bitty puny resistance area. We got the big pivot point right up above us, the horizontal black pivot point line. Guess where buyers are gonna go next week? And let's take a look at my other chart from last week to see what I said. And here we go. This was AG's chart from last week. Even though everything's starting to move towards the right-hand side, and I said that the prices are going to change over time with the trend lines where support and resistance areas are. And considering I have my X-Men outfit on right now, I'm going to say that in the future I'm still going to be looking for the same thing. I'm still going to be looking for the breakout, the retest, and then a forward march up. All right, before we get set on the silver futures, I want to take a look from 1 week ago. Storm ended up giving me this chart and said, oh, Joe, it's happening. And I was like, yes, Storm, this is what I thought buyers were going to do. So, I'm looking at this and I'm like, last week I said I'm looking for a breakout because we have that 2200 EMA squeeze, and what I have witnessed in the past throughout the years, from the past 10 years, is that buyers like this. This is attracting buyers right now. Stochastics are staying right underneath the overbought area. I expected to see a push up. I expected to see a retest of the 200, and now I am expecting to see a bull run. We are on top of the most important EMA this week, which I'm about to show you, and that means there's no more resistance. There's nothing for these price movements to fight against. We broke, let's just go to this week. I'll show you in this week's. Let's take a look from July 2016 till now. I have the black upper resistance trend line, and it seems to me that buyers broke out. Buyers are stepping in big. Here's the 2200 EMA squeeze. I see embedded stochastics. I see the relative strength indicator going above 70 now, which means buy, because buyers are stepping in. That's what it means. I see green candlesticks. I could go check the earnings from a month or so ago. They don't say anything about this, but now that I have updated information every minute, it looks to me like we're breaking out. Let's take a closer look. Silver futures this week. Ask yourself, what do you see here? This looks great to me. I see the crossover now of the 20 EMA over the 200. So that means the 20 EMA is now going to become support. So every time you see, and another thing here too is that we didn't close on the 200 EMA. We broke above it. We haven't come back down to retest it. I would like to see a retest of that upper trend line one more time. So if you see another pullback in the silver futures, don't lose your mind, okay? It's expected. I'm also expecting to see the 20 EMA become support. So if we don't retest that upper trend line and we only retest the 20 EMA, that is going to tell you there is nothing but buying going on, because that's what it's going to show. I'll prove it over time. We got stochastics embedded in the overbought area, relative strength, the indicators 71.11. That means buy, because there's nothing but buying going on. My MACD indicator is turning up. It's over the divergence line towards the positive side. That's what we want to see for a long-term trend. Guys, this is going straight up. Trust me, Wolverine's all over me. If I don't get this straight, he's going to kill me. But I'm positive on this. DO daily chart. This is what you guys see. Now let's take a look at what I think I see. Here's a double bottom. Al, you made contact with me earlier in the week asking me about DO. I think everything's perfect. From this chart, I have the oversold areas circled. I see a price that came down to the same area a couple months afterward. What I think is a double bottom. Double bottoms attract buyers. Buyers love it. They're getting a signal that this might possibly be the bottom of DO, and if it is, they want to take their risk and step in. Take a look at Friday's candlestick. I see nothing but buying going on, and the reason I say that is because it's a huge green candlestick sitting right in front of your face. No need to go look at earnings. No need to look at anything. I can tell you positively there is buying going on. Stochastics are in the overbought area, 85, 86 area. Doesn't mean buyers have to stop. They can just keep buying, which is what I think is going to happen. The 200 EMA is a magnet for the value of any stock, and that's at 14 and a quarter, somewhere around there. That's a nice target for buyers. The most previous overbought area I thought was in the 1250 range. That's less than 50 cents above us, and I've witnessed DO go off the chart in a day. I feel confident about this. 200 is the next target. DO daily chart. This is what you guys see. Now let's take a look at what I think I see. Here's a double bottom. Al, you made contact with me earlier in the week asking me about DO. I think everything's perfect. From this chart, I have the oversold areas circled. I see a price that came down to the same area a couple months afterward. What I think is a double bottom. Double bottoms attract buyers. Buyers love it. They're getting a signal that this might possibly be the bottom of DO, and if it is, they want to take their risk and step in. Take a look at Friday's candlestick. I see nothing but buying going on, and the reason I say that is because it's a huge green candlestick sitting right in front of your face. No need to go look at earnings. No need to look at anything. I can tell you positively there is buying going on. Stochastics are in the overbought area, 85, 86 area. Doesn't mean buyers have to stop. They can just keep buying, which is what I think is going to happen. The 200 EMA is a magnet for the value of any stock, and that's at 14 and a quarter, somewhere around there. That's a nice target for buyers. The most previous overbought area I thought was in the 1250 range. That's less than 50 cents above us, and I've witnessed DO go off the chart in a day. I feel confident about this. 200 is the next target. Crude oil futures. Something I want to point out to you guys about the dark side rules. This is what I love about my rules. Last week, I was wrong. I had a oversold area, and I drew a line from the previous oversold area to last week's, and that price was getting squeezed in there. Now we see that the value dropped through the trend line I had drawn in before, and now we have a new trend line. And I can honestly tell you, I don't give a shit. That's okay. I was wrong. I'm still confident that the previous oversold area is $5 underneath us. So that gives me a little bit of play here. Sure, the angle of the trend line's changed. I noticed the stems of previous days still coming down to hit this new line that I have in there. The upper black trend line that's a few months old is still up above us. We have the 20 and the 50 above us. We broke through it before, no problem. I felt confident about DO. I'm watching people step into DO. Why wouldn't I feel the same way about the crude oil futures? I've watched them plow through the 200 EMA before, just not too long ago. I still feel confident. I still want to hit the launch button. It's just the market playing with your mind, and who gives a shit? We still got a higher oversold area. Good news. Again, love these rules. Aren't they great? US dollar futures. Now this is something I'm proud of. This is something I've been battling. All my X-Men friends have been so negative, and I've been catching flack for 8-9 months now, and how dare you tell the future, or try and guess this. And someone passed a email to me earlier in the week, and they read that some analyst was saying that the US dollar has reversed. And I'm glad I'm getting this information from people. One of the few people that even talked to me about it, and I love it. And I'm thinking, gosh, man, the psychological games that are going on in the market, and you're getting information from one person and the next. So here I got the arrow showing the lowest, the 52-week low in the U.S. dollar now. The 52-week lowest close in the U.S. dollar, and that's where that arrow is. So then I start looking at the previous oversold area, and I noticed that one is still lower than the previous one. So the analyst who was saying, oh, the dollar's reversed, they were right. It reversed that day and for the rest of that week. And then what do you see? Again, the value goes up, hits the Yellow 20-year support line, can't get on top of the 20 EMA. And then on Friday, what happens? It closes lower than the previous day's open. So then I decided to look at the hourly chart. I don't usually want to look at the hourly chart because it's too close in, it's too detailed. I wanted the big picture. But I just wanted to check out what happened last week. And in the hourly chart, you can see that all the way from the bottom on that reversal day that the analyst was saying, the price came all the way back up to that 20-year trend line that I've had in there for months now. And it went 1 cent above it, and then sellers came right back in, almost like it was a target. Almost like millions of people at one time got this indication. What's Susan doing? Susan's gonna just keep buying. Susan don't know anything. What's Jose doing? Jose's selling at 23 or 93.29. I think Jose's on it. Let's do it. And then boom, they start selling. Misses the 200 EMA, which is the most important to find support on if you expected it to keep going back up. But it just went below it, came up, retagged it from underneath, retagged the 20, went back up to the 200 once again, retagged it. And now we're overbought with a lower overbought area. And sure, yeah, we have an oversold area, a higher one from what I see. But you're talking on an hourly chart. This is not what we want to start looking at. I'm sure they're going to sell off next week. There has been no reversal in the US dollar except for a day or a week. This baby's going to continue to just keep going down. I am positive. I feel absolutely great with what I see. I know it's been a long road. It's been difficult. I am positive I have failed in my communication to actually teach people what I'm thinking, what's going through my mind. And the most important thing is that I am ignoring everything around me. I am so happy people are sending me stuff and talking about it. And, you know, hey, look at this. This guy's saying it's bad. And when this is all over with, I'll be able to show you why I have ignored everything. It is all negativity. It's just going to sit there and screw with your head. AG sold off that one day with a knee-jerk reaction. We're almost right back to where we were. That was a month ago. That's why I was never sweating it. The picture of my risk area, when I look at in AG, when I look at the big picture, what's everyone worried about? We're back over my purchase area. I don't give a crap, about all what other people think. And I decided that a year ago. Yes, read for the information. Yes, get numbers, get factual information. But if someone's telling you investors think, ask who they polled. Find it, I don't know, things are looking great right now. One other topic I wanted to hit on, I've been talking with a few people, and that's about taking profits. And I'm not going to get into the argument of when that should be done. Everyone's got their own thing that they put together and trust. One thing I want to point out, though, is that if everything I'm saying is true in AG and DO and they both start to rally and head skyward quickly, and you still want to jump in and out, grabbing profits here and there, you better make sure that you're very careful about the 33%, 50%, 66% pullbacks that are an everyday occurrence in the market. And that's the reason I wanted to just step in at the time I felt was best and just sit here. And when you take a look at that chart, it's a small shaded area of the part that I think is risk. And from months from now, if it does go up, I'm just going to be sitting back going, I don't give a shit about the pullback. Don't mean much to me. My psychology's, I'm going to be sitting in a low spot for all the profits to come in if that's the way things turn out. I'm not positive, no guarantees, but if it does, I'll be prepared. Now, if you're going to step into these spots, keep jumping in and out, better hope that you're in the right ones and that pullback doesn't happen, because it's an everyday occurrence, and I like you guys a lot. I want you to profit from this.
You know nothing, little man. Next time, I use these.